Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about ratios, rates, proportions, and complex fractions. So this is going to start out a little bit of a review and then we'll get a little bit complicated with the 7th grade standards. So 11 ounces of tuna costs $1.39. What's the unit price for the tuna? Again, unit price, how much it is for one. So we have $1.39 for 11 ounces. So we want to know how much it is for 1 ounce. So cross multiply, divide. So $1.39 times 1 divided by 11. So $1.39 divided by 11. Raise the roof. 11 goes into 13 one time. Subtract and bring down. 11 goes into 29 two times. It's going to be 22. Subtract, add a 0, and bring down. So it's money, so we need to go one more place so we can round it. 11 goes into 76 times. With 4 left over. So we do need to round this. So it is going to be 0.126, which then, remember, the 6 tells the 2 to round up to 13 cents per ounce. You need to have that per whatever. Don't forget your toenails. Make sure you're rounding correctly. Okay. Hannah reads 1.5 books in 3 weeks. How many books does she read every week? Okay, so it's going to be 2.5 books in 3 weeks. How much is it for 1 week? Cross multiply, divide. So 2.5 divided by 2.5 times 1 is 2.5 divided by 3. So 2.5 divided by 3. Cartwheel around. So it's going to be 5 over 2 divided by 3 over 1. Get your common denominators. You're going to get 6 over 2. Divide across the top and you get 5/6. So 5/6 of a book per week. Two pounds of jelly beans cost $3.78. How much would 5 pounds of jelly beans cost? So let's find out how much it's going to be for 1, and then we'll find out how much it would be for 5. So $3.78 for 2 pounds. How much would it be for 1 pound? Cross multiply, divide. Okay, so the thing is, here we can go ahead and figure out, you can figure out the unit rate, how much is for 1, and then times it by 5, or you can just cross multiply, divide with your 5 pounds. So 378 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. 7 times 5 plus 4 is 39. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 3 is 18. So then we got to do 1890 divided by 2. 2 goes in 18 9 times. Bring down the 9. 2 goes into 9 4 times. With 1 left over, bring the 0 down, goes in 5 times, just 0. So it is $9.45 for 5 pounds of jelly beans. In 1/4 of an hour, Josh can jog 1 1/3 miles. Find his average speed in miles per hour. Okay, so it is 1 1/3 miles in 1/4 of an hour. How much is it for 1 hour? Cross multiply, divide. 1 1/3 times 1 divided by 1/4. So 1 1/3 divided by 1/4. Cartwheel around. 4/3 divided by 1/4 times by 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. Divide across the top. 16 thirds is 5 1/3 miles per hour. Monica reads 5 pages of a mystery book in 7 1/2 minutes. How long does it take her to read 12 pages? Okay, so 5 pages is 7 1/2 minutes. We want to know how much it is for 12 pages. Okay, so cross multiply, divide. So 7 1/2 times 12 over 1, cartwheel around. Or you can just make it a decimal. That's probably easier. Let's do that way. 7.5 times 12. 5 times 2 is 10. 7 times 5 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Tic-tac-toe. 5, 7, 7, 8, 9. Move your decimal over, is 90. 90 divided by 5. It goes in 1 time. 4 left over. Goes in 8 times. 40. So our answer is 18 minutes. Again, don't forget that cross multiply, divide. So remember, your pages and pages need to be across from each other, and your minutes need to be across from each other. Doug entered a canoe race. He rowed 3.5 miles in half of an hour. How far can he row in 2.5 hours? So 3.5 miles in 0.5 hours. How much is it for 2.5 hours? So 3.5 times 2.5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Tic-tac-toe. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 5, 7, 8. Move the decimal over twice. 8.75 divided by 0.5. Slide, baby, slide, and then raise the roof. 5 goes into 8 1 time. 3 left over. Bring down the 7. 5 goes into 37 7 times, which is 35. 2 left over. Bring down the decimal. 5 goes into 25 5 times. So it is 17.5 miles in 2.5 hours. Aubrey can walk 4 miles in 1.5 hours. Find her average speed in miles per hour for 1. So 4 miles in 1.5 hours. We want to know how much it is for 1 hour. 4 times 1 is 4. So it is 4 divided by 1 1/2. That order does matter. Cartwheel around. 4 over 1 divided by 3 over 2. So then that's going to be 8 over 2 divided by 3 over 2. We have 8 over 3. 3 goes in 2 times. 2 left over. It's 2 2/3. So 2 2/3 miles per hour. Deborah can run 3.5 miles in 1 1/6 hours. How long will it take her to run 2 miles? So 3 1/2 miles in 1 1/6 hours. How long will it take for 2 miles? Notice I put the 2 on the top. It does matter. Miles and miles. Cross multiply, divide. 1 1/6 divided or times 2 over 1. Cartwheel around. 7 over 6 times 2 over 1 is going to be 14 over 6, which I'm just going to keep that. 14 over 6 divided by 3.5. So then that is 14 over 6 divided by 7 over 2. That becomes a denominator of 6, which would be 21. 14 over 21 simplifies to 2/3. So 2/3 of it would take 2/3 of an hour to go 2 miles. Mr. Thomas is spreading mulch. It's not always a fun task. In his yard, he spreads 4 2/3 square miles in 2 yards. How many square miles can he do in 2 hours? How many can you do in 3 hours? So 4 2/3 yards in 2 hours, square yards. How much is it for 3 hours? Okay, so 4 2/3 times 3/1. 4 2/3 cartwheel around is 14/3 times 3/1. Multiply straight across, you get 42/3, which equals 14. And then 14 divided by 2 equals 7. So it would be 7 square yards. Thanks. Bye.